Good morning. How's it going out there? Yes, I'm back on my phone for lose phone fans. My Zoom update is taking forever, and great to be here with you. Let's fix ourselves up. So, welcome to Morning Poems and Prayers. I say one more time, and it's a pleasure. We are on the 27th of November. It is Thanksgiving Day in the US of A. And happy Thanksgiving to all my American friends out there and family and everyone. I'm thinking of you, as I am quite often. Yes, God bless us. It's great to be here with you. We're going to take a run at some poems and prayers here this morning and some posts. So we'll skip the music for today, and we'll just cue up the prayers and get ready to dive right in. I hope you're very well. It's great to be here with you, and life is good all of the time, even when we don't know it. I've done my 2 or 3 or 4 meditations before climbing out of bed today, as is the way these days. A whole lot of Lazarus. So, again, thanks for being here. Let's spend the time together, turning our hearts back to Almighty God, to Father, Mother God, to God, Goddess, all that is. Let's get an angel card to get things going here. Yesterday was rockin'. I hope you had a great day. A lot of solutions, a few more problems. Yes. Funny how that works. Yeah, very good. Let's see what we have. Romance. Okay, keep that in mind. That's love and relationship and all those wonderful things. It's also loving and appreciating life. Joie de vivre, the French like to tell us. So, thank you for being here once again. Go ahead and close your eyes, turn within. Let's take 3 deep breaths together. First deep breath. Spine is straight, looking up through the third eye, holding. Oh, let it go. Second deep breath. A little deeper, a little longer, stretching, reaching. Let it go. Third and final deep breath. Let go. Wonderful. I was just listening to Oren say to come back to your higher self, take 3 deep breaths. My guides have said the same thing. As we go through these waves of energy that are bombarding the planet, and we're surfing all of this, we want to be connected to our nervous system and our sympathetic nervous system, and keep coming back to center. And 3 deep breaths is a great way to do it. Well, here we go, my friends. O cosmic birther of all radiance and vibration, soften the ground of our being and carve out a space within us where your presence can abide. Fill us with your creativity so that we may be empowered to bear the fruit of your mission. Let each of our actions bear fruit in accordance with our desire. Endow us with the wisdom to produce and share what each being needs to grow and flourish. Help is on the way. Untie the tangled threads of destiny that bind us as we release others from the entanglement of past mistakes. Do not let us be seduced by that which would divert us from our true purpose, but illuminate the opportunities of the present moment. For you are the ground and the fruitful vision, the birth, power, and fulfillment, as all is gathered and made whole once again. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He anoints my head with oil, my cup runneth over. He leadeth me on a path of righteousness for his name's sake. He prepares a table before me in the presence of my foe. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow, I shall fear nothing, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever. I am my I am presence, and I am one with my Father, Mother, God. I am also one with the I am presence of every man, woman, and child on earth, the entire company of heaven, the elemental kingdom, the angelic kingdom, and Gaia, Mother Earth. I give heartfelt and sincere thanks for the sacred gift of my life, and I ask my I am presence to consecrate every thought, word, feeling, and action which I express throughout this day with more love and more light for myself and my world. Lord, make me an instrument of thy peace. Where there is hatred, let me sow love. Where there is doubt, faith. Where there is despair, hope. Where there is sorrow, joy. Where there is darkness, light. O Divine Master, grant that I may not so much seek to be consoled as to console, to be understood as to understand, to be loved as to love. For it is in giving that we receive, and it is in pardoning that we are forgiven, and it is in dying that we are born to eternal life. I am prosperity. I let go of the misconception that anyone or anything can withhold from me all that the abundant universe has for me. I am an open door, and all kinds of riches flow to me now. I am an irresistible magnet with the power to draw to myself this supply of all good things, according to the thoughts, feelings, mental pictures, and I continually hold in my consciousness. Let me get this a little larger here. I realize that I am responsible for my life situation, and I have the power to create whatever I wish in my life. As of this moment, I choose to create for myself a life of health, success, happiness, and prosperity. I know that the universe is filled with God's abundance, and I accept these riches into my life now. I choose infinite abundance for myself and for all humanity. I know all of my needs will be perfectly met at all times. Rapid changes come in all aspects of my life. As I now open my mind to the unlimited resources of this universe, all of my financial affairs are now in perfect order. I love doing my work, and I am richly rewarded, both creatively and financially. I give my love, my gifts, my all, and I am therefore rich, well, and happy now. I am prosperity. Take a deep breath. Okay, that's a nice surprise. All right, do we have one more here? Where'd you go? There you are, Bo. The violet flame, one more time, my friends. Thank you for your patience. I am the open door for the violet flame, and I am my I am presence. I am my I am presence, and I am one with the I am presence of all humanity, as one voice, one breath, one heartbeat, and one energy, vibration, and consciousness of pure divine love. We invoke the most intensified frequencies of the fifth dimensional crystalline solar violet flame of God's infinite perfection that cosmic law will allow. Beloved Saint Germain and your legions of fifth dimensional violet flame archangels, we ask that you blaze, blaze, blaze this violet flame with the power and might of 1,000 suns, in, through, and around every thought, feeling, word, action, memory, and belief that humanity has ever expressed in any time frame or dimension, both known and unknown, that is reflecting anything less than heaven on earth. Transmute this energy, cause, core, effect, record, and memory back into its original perfection, and seal it in an invincible force field of God's comprehensive divine love. We accept that this activity of light is being God victoriously accomplished, even as we call. We also accept and know that this violet flame is increasing daily and hourly, moment by moment, with every single breath we take, until this sweet earth and all her life have ascended into the fifth dimensional crystalline solar realms of light on the new earth. And so it is. Beloved, I am. Beloved, I am. Beloved, I am. Take a deep breath. Let's put that on the page here as well. Thank you, God. All right. We're rolling now, my friends. Here we go. That's it. All right. Mercy, I had some lovely surprises yesterday. I'm continuing to really value and enjoy Ann Tucker's daily channelings from the Divine Mother, which are just, oh my God, so very powerful and so greatly needed, I would tell you. Yeah. I have Eileen Caddy. Have love and confidence in one another. For love and confidence in a soul enable it to flower and develop, so it can take on responsibilities and grow in strength and stature. You cannot expect a child to grow in stature if everything is done for it. It has to be taught to think for itself, to make its own decisions, and not rely on its parents to do all its thinking for it. It's not easy to see loved ones making the wrong decision, and yet at times it has to be done so that they learn certain lessons. Lessons can be learned the easy way, but often when they are learned the hard way, they are never forgotten. So never be overprotective. Learn to take your hands off those souls under your care, no matter who they are or what age. Let them learn to shoulder their responsibilities, and what is more, to enjoy doing so and help each other to grow. Breath into that. Abraham. So many people need you to behave in a certain way for them to feel good. They condemn you for your selfishness. How dare you be so selfish as to follow what makes you feel good? You should follow what makes us feel good. At an early age, you were convinced that you weren't smart enough to know that somebody else should make the decisions. You could not live in this culture during the times of your life without getting a huge amount of information relative to that, just in the way people respond to the things you do and say. Indeed. Everybody wants to go to heaven. Nobody wants to die. What needs to die are illusions of separation and of ourselves. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So I was at the Gale Talk yesterday, and the folks let me take another jolly picture or two of them in the doorway at the library, and that was good fun. I was gifted Con McGann's new book here, 99 Names for Rain and One for Sun. Very, very cute title, and beautifully done. Lots of, it's all Irish, of course. Irish English, so it's teaching you about the language while it's teaching you about the weather. Yeah, really grateful for that. That's from my buddy Michael. Teresa Lutnager. Powerful, powerful earth energies these last weeks. I intentionally set time aside each week to attend to plasma flows, crystalline temple and grid keeping, balancing and harmonizing the light influxes in co-creation with Gaia and her ascended or ascending realms. But this week, I was called into service spontaneously, so many times with such an explosion of energies, seeking balance and harmonization. It made my head and everything else spin. What is happening now feels wholly unprecedented to me and exquisitely joyful and beautiful. The only reference of comparison I can make to the sensation of rising and the lift of the spiral waves emanating from the crystalline core is the one time in my life, maybe 25 years ago, I was lifted out of waters by dolphins. Only they did not spin me through Gaia's waves. Only they did not spin me through me, and Gaia's waves do. Only they did not spin me through me, and only Gaia's waves do, okay? But once stabilized in the spin, there is a stillness and relaxation. Call it 0 point, if you like, that term. That is exquisite, awe-inducing in the power of its organic love light. I am feeling these spiral waves crest and birth through and beyond the solstice gateway, and I see soul cohorts catching these waves, one group after the other, rising together. Bathing in the emerald ray and emerald plasma pools may be very soothing and harmonizing to any aspects of consciousness that might tense in fear or resistance, as well as calling upon soul aspects that are in service as dragons and or Kaliak. This is the natural extension and reflection of increased spin on the subatomic level, cellularly. Okay? Thank you, Teresa. Love and blessings from the mighty Uba Seo, to the Nissinian, the indigenous tribe of this land. Yes? Okay, there you go. Thank you, Teresa, I say again. Wonderful. Beautiful message here from Helen Quayle. Gratitude contains a heightened and amazed realization of how much goodness is marbled into our strange and sometimes hard, annoying lives. And that is a quote from Anne Lamott. And here's Helen. In the U.S., what is a day of Thanksgiving for many is simultaneously a day of grieving for indigenous peoples. Without going into the history and politics, just this one example points out how we can hold multiple truths as we develop our foundation. One moment. Help is on the way. Life holds it all, paradox and oneness. We are all in this great shifting together, yet its appearance takes on many forms. Expansion and challenge go hand in hand. Like you, perhaps, the market manipulations of this and many platforms feel bad in my system. They constrict my heart. Yet for this moment, perhaps like you, I compromise and make the best I can, sharing my work and service, so that I can make a living as well as share my joy and creative impulses. I much prefer you join me on my email list in the comments or over on Substack for essays and writing. For now, many of us still find each other through this strange online space, though this is very changed. Let us not deny the deconstruction. Let us stay present to the discomfort of this. Simultaneously in the burning down, we are turning more intently to how we can design our lives with more coherence, care, and integrity. How we care for and support ourselves right here is a core of our stability. I know these are wildly unstable circumstances for so many of us, so I'm offering as much as I can to support and provide access to sessions, specifically 30% off sessions booked before 12/1. Know this, you have already walked through some doors of consciousness that cannot be undone. You are in the great ride of living from here now. The great, the mighty, the beautiful, and the deep, Helen Quayle. Thank you, sister. Siobhan DePoor. There's grief and there's celebration. There's despair and there's hope. There's struggle and there's ease. The dualities are really doing the dance at the moment. Siobhan DePuer, in losing our language, we suffered a disconnect from our land. And so an important, vital even relationship is absence. And so an important, vital even relationship is absent from our lives. A relationship without which we cannot realize our purpose. Release is the preamble to restoration. We humans feel a lack in our lives, without naming its separation from nature, just feeling a gap in our experience, and with it a great sadness. We are blessed now to be returning to right relationships, and to do so in community. Keening ritual here at Tect Aner this Saturday. Welly's Essential. Well, that's amazing. I love this lady, as you know. Siobhan, great poet, powerful spirit, and Irish through and through, and just a great teacher of the values of Ireland, and being a mystic and being a carer for the land and the people and its children. So Keening is grieving, of course, and grief has come up very deeply in Ann Tucker's work with the Divine Mother. I've had my seasons of grief like we all must. I'm just dancing with struggle at the moment. Grief hasn't quite landed on me. But as we come down, as we know here, the last 30 days of this 40-day period to, where are we at? The 21st, this is the 27th. Yeah, it's about 3 weeks to the solstice. We're feeling the squeeze. Here's a lovely new poet in my world, and her name is Carissa Rose. I've always found older women who found their spine to be the most beautiful. Those who long since parted with the urge to be palatable, who no longer bend themselves for approval or the external gaze. The ones who stand in truth, ferocity, and dignity, as though it were a throne they were born to occupy. This is what I most long to embody. I don't care much for remaining youthful. I care to grow into the kind of spine that doesn't hesitate to draw lines in the sand, to be ruthlessly devoted to the truth, with love, with courage, with unwavering grace. I don't care about remaining youthful or keeping my voice light and high, trapped in my chest. I wanted to descend into the belly, to live from there, allegiant to the ground of being, to the dark soil, where real life happens, where nothing is beneath me, where I can sit with the suffering, with the ones who grieve and ache, and not look away or rise above. Because this is where feminine leadership lives, down low, in the mud, in the mystery, in the trembling hands of the broken. It isn't floating above life, but being deeply of it. Rooted, embodied, willing to feel it all, willing to rise and bear her fangs in the name of devotion to life and creation. And to be clear, to grow into this audacity requires the willingness to be called a difficult woman, a too much woman, because when a woman reaches this point, she becomes ungovernable. She can't be managed, diluted, or domesticated. She becomes what humanity needs most and what it still fears. A woman fierce in her instincts, ferocious in her care, allegiant only to truth and creation, unwilling to accept anything less than love. For too long, women have been trained out of this ferocity, taught to bury it or turn it inward, to make themselves small or agreeable while the world burns. But that fire doesn't vanish. It smolders in the body, leaking out as illness, fatigue, resentment, despair. And underneath all that conditioning lies the oldest secret. Women are powerful. Doorways between worlds, carriers of souls, magnetic, creative, made for coherence with life itself. When that power is reclaimed, it restores. It becomes the medicine of a woman who finally remembers who she is. No longer contorting to be pleasing, she stands in fierce allegiance to the pulsing, living God of truth, coursing through her bloodstream. And then words begin to shift like magic with the untamed, furious glory of her strength and love. She is no longer in competition with other women, but in communion, root to root, fire to fire, each one remembering her own sacred worth. She no longer enables others to underfunction or remain in smallness. Her very presence calls forth their true nobility, igniting the holy fire of remembrance and responsibility. She no longer strives to be perfect, that subtle violence against self that tries to scrub away every flaw until nothing remains but sterility. Instead, she embodies the wounds she carries. She turns pain into medicine and stands in the throne of her spine with a holy sort of ruthlessness. Even if others call it aggression or too muchness, some of us are done waiting for immature leaders who've never made the descent. Some of us will rise to lead from the deep place, the place where truth and earth meet, where love wears its real face. I'll meet you there, heart to heart. Carissa. Take a deep breath. That's the Sermon on the Mount for today, my friends. Thank you, woman. Beautiful. Thank you, thank you. Very, very deep, very powerful. I just find these things and then, okay, that looks good. And then I read them, and it's an experience every time. Mercy. The telepathy tapes. We're on season 2, and this is, yesterday was episode 7. I've got some catching up to do. This was right up my street. It was psychedelics and accessing consciousness. And they get into two things I've studied over the years. I've been sober for 35 years, so I'm not doing the medicine at the moment. But I'm always very respectful of people who do, and especially if they do it with deep and soulful intent. And she says it quite clearly here. She's putting it all together. Kai Dickens, who's a hero of mine, who really has seen the bigger picture and is well able to put all the puzzle pieces together and show us what's what. Throughout history, humanity has used psychedelics to get closer to its own deep emotional truth, and thus get closer to God, Goddess, all that is, to the nature spirits. And ayahuasca and ergot, which is the fungus that is the root of LSD, the modern version of that, and Anita muscaria, magic mushrooms, psilocybin, the list goes on and on. We'll see what gets past the algorithm here, but there's a few things you can choose from if you have a mind to do it. There's a book called The Key to Immortality, or The Immortal Key, maybe, I think it is, and that's she had the author of that on. I read a bit of that when it came out. Brian, someone, very well researched book about the history of psychedelics in Western culture, including churches, including the great philosophers like Plato and Aristotle and Socrates and all the rest of them, names we've heard for centuries. And then we get to Paul Stamets and Mr. Mushrooms, and who has done more to promote magic mushrooms than nearly anyone else in history. And all of it fits together quite brilliantly in terms of transcending the illusions of the human mind and the ego. So take a listen to that. If any of that rings your bell, it was a beautiful message, a powerful message. Where are we at here? Yeah. I've got a lot going on at the moment. Let's see how I can put all this together. As I said, I had a great day yesterday. A lot of wonderful things happened. Ann Tucker, I continue to love and appreciate. I was thinking of sharing another one here with you. Okay. I'll just cruise this for a moment. Well, another event from Chief Phil Lane, Saturday the 29th of November, this coming Saturday. Tell me more. That's why I'm here now. I've got David and Vivica on Sunday at 5 o'clock, I believe. Okay. So it's a live Zoom with Chief Phil. Looking forward to sharing the teaching of my grandmother, Ella Deloria, my father, Phil Sr., other elders, and my experience of the divine masculine, as well as my greatest honor, being adopted as a woman by my longtime sisters here in British Columbia. Well, there you go. That's the bookend from Our Lady on the top of the mountain. Ways to watch the awakening world. Become a member of the Global Peace Tribe and support us. And you can go to YouTube channel as our show is playing and watch it live or catch recordings there. Very good. So you can make a donation or you can watch it for free. That's brilliant. Appreciate all that. Chief Phil is the man, and he's also the woman too, evidently. God bless you indeed. Perfect timing. You know, man and women, it's just a brilliant disguise. We're all the soul that gave us birth in this earth to know our worth, and that is why we are here. I'll read you this from Stephanie Big Eagle. Gandalf, one of my favorite horses of all time. He was so gentle, so beautiful, so picked on by the rest of the herd that he had to be kept by himself. He came to me when I approached with the halter. The rest he ran from. I was told that meant he chose me. He was given to me in a dream, a timeline that didn't get fulfilled in 3D reality, but he's always with me anyway, and I'm always with him in spirit. The horse nation, Sanka Wankan Oyate, are sacred and intelligent teachers of balance. They also heal us just by existing in proximity to us. They are my top choice for PTSD treatment and neurological regulation for those with autism, ADHD, and more. And for us Horse Nation peoples, the relationship with the horse runs deep in our blood. It is ancestral, it is ancient, and it can never be broken. Thank you for that. Beautiful. Yeah. One never knows where these things will lead. Who looks outside dreams, who looks within awakens. The great Carl Jung. There's Eileen rocking out. Put that on the page. Okay. Nikki Kala. Enjoying the reaping of rewards for what was toiled, sown, and grown, the fruits of labor and preparations afoot for the year ahead, planning, producing, profiting, all happiness. Bless you. All right, so, boom. Coming at you. I might just channel here and leave it there for today. That feels quite likely. I've got to go and do an errand this morning, or two. But romance, yeah. Can I do another Ann Tucker? We, Addie Lamborn, Patricia Cota Robles, Tori Cota Robles. It's all pouring forth. Day 8 was the children, which was amazing. Day 1 was agony. Day 7, sharing your pure truth. Yep. I've done 6, 7, 8, and 9. I believe. Yep. It's so deep. I hesitate to throw it in here at the end of things, but I will put it on my page. Let's do that.
To go on that one.
Thank you, dear. And then I'm going to channel here for you, and we'll call it a week. It's always a pleasure. I was on with my LifeWave group last night, Wednesday 7:30, and we're on tonight with Mario Cabral, Thursday 6 p.m. If you're interested in the X39 stem cell patch and the opportunity that affords, go to LifeWave Team Ireland. I've got 150 people following my adventures there, for which I'm very grateful. And always grateful for your interest in doing a one-to-one session, and always grateful for donations to my PayPal link. We're all climbing the same mountain, my friends, and if we can help each other, that is a blessing. That is my intention here every day, to be available and to let the Spirit work with me and through me, to open our hearts to the Almighty and to come back to truth that sets us free. I've got one more here. Just jumped out at me. It's a bit long. Ascension Lightworkers. We'll give you a little taste. I just put it on my page. To the Ascension Lightworker Collective, there is an intense buildup of energy coming into the collective to prepare us for the 29th of November, which is also an 11/11 portal gateway. And many are feeling extreme fatigue as we continue to clear out deeper inner density and tiredness stored in the cellular body. This is all about your system, clearing the stored and deeply embedded false programming beliefs and memories in the cellular structure. After the 29th, which is Saturday, the next gateway is going to take us straight into the 12/12 energies. expect some major changes within yourself in the next few weeks, as it's going to be very intense and really interesting. There will be surprises, rewards, and blessings. But for most of everyone, there are major improvements, not just within themselves, but also in their outer reality. Yes. While the energies are intense, I could tell you a story, but I'll save it. While the energies are intense right now, old cycles are now closing out this universal year 9 energy, and new timelines are opening to welcome us into the new Earth's energy. This major shift may bring in sudden, dramatic, and life-changing transformation. Ascending souls are breaking open and allowing in love, peace, and forgiveness. Yeah, we were all about the forgiveness this morning with Lazarus one more time. They are releasing months, decades, and many generations. It might not be just all your stuff, huh? That's helpful. Many generations of deep internal pain, of deep internal pain and trauma. That's all. So many conflicting emotions may be stirring deep within self, trusting that everything is happening exactly as it is meant to, and that everything is going in the direction it should be. This is the challenge, my friends. So if you feel you lost yourself for a while, this is temporary. Living in your own realness doesn't demand that you have to feel at ease all the time. Well, that's a relief. You won't always have the answers. What you learn today can have a different meaning tomorrow. That is key. That is critically important. Nothing means anything except what we put upon it. Because losing yourself doesn't have to be a bad thing. It can be what you needed to teach you. It can be what you needed to teach yourself how to find your way to your true self. One of the things that, I'll leave that there, that's, there's much more to that. For many ascending, this gateway feels like a recalibration, an inner pull toward coherence, authenticity, and quantum alignment. You may notice heightened intuition, rapid manifestations, emotional releases, a renewed sense of purpose. This portal invites us to step further out of old timelines, to consciously move into sovereignty, unity consciousness, and strengthen trust. It is the initiation into a more crystalline version, Annie and I were just talking about that, of the self. Crystal clear, being a good metaphor, one that can hold more light, move with greater clarity, and anchor higher frequencies into the physical realm. In loving and devoted ascension service by the Ascension Lightworkers. And the image is of a expanded sun flowing light patterns down to a sea of illuminated lilies. Very, very beautiful. Mercy, mercy me. Well, it's never what we think. It's only what we open ourselves to receive. That's the stance with time and space. Hall of Mirrors, they call it. Yes, absolutely. Right. How about that? Oh, where am I? Okay. That will work. So, from my heart to yours, thank you for being here. Go ahead and close your eyes, turn within, take a deep breath. God bless you, dear friends. What a powerful, powerful time. Relax and release. Relax and release. Relax and release, coming back to center, coming back to the still point, the 0 point, dear friends, the place of peace. Go into peace as often and as deeply as possible, and you will remember who you are, why you are here, and how to experience and express your higher self, your soul, your spirit, that which you are destined to be in this lifetime of lifetimes. The layers of the onion, dear friends, the snake shedding its skin, the child leaving behind the childish ways and becoming the adult, dear friends. To everything, turn, 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 dear friends, absolutely. So it is about trusting, dear friends, that you have what you truly need available to you at all times, if and when you can remember to go within, dear friends. When there is a conflict, come back to self. When there is chaos, come back to self. When there is confusion, come back to self. And see if it is not an invitation for you to release fear, judgment, and resistance. Take a deep breath. Fear, of course, is a natural response. We hesitate to use that word, but we will. A natural response to chaos and confusion, disappointment, conflict, etc., etc. As you know only too well, dear friends, stating the obvious, just to put it there, your world is filled with programs, yeah, we use that word advisedly, that keep your attention upon things that you wouldn't want, are traumatized through the watching of, and have very little power over changing the situation. The powerful part, of course, is you do have great power, dear friends, but you must know that, believe that, and express that in order to experience it. When you bless a situation, when you pray over someone, when there is an opportunity to be kind, loving, generous, patient, honest, trustworthy, you're strengthening the bonds in your community and in your home and in your life, dear friends. Beautiful, wonderful. When people are retreating or judging or resisting, when there's anger and fear, dear friends, that is the problem. Shouting loud, as we say. God bless you indeed. So, dear friends, as you work with the teachers and the teachings that are also flooding your lives through your technology and all the rest of it here, the internet and etc., music and films and books, dear friends, yeah? So you are deciding, you are choosing, dear friends, the only choice, the greatest choice, you are choosing, dear friends, what you want to invite more of and to be more of in your life. And so, as is said here in this message from the Ascension Lightworkers, dear friends, there is a fork in the road in your world at this time. And so those people that are seeking to solve the problems, the challenges of their lives exclusively through the world's resources, the 3D people, places, things, and situations, yeah, have forgotten temporarily that they're spiritual beings having a human experience. And dear ones, as you reach deep and often into your spiritual resources, so you strengthen and you awaken and you open, dear friends. Strengthen, awaken, and open to being that higher self, soul, and spirit in this time and space, dear friends, in this rapidly accelerating and changing time and space. There is a lot of grief, dear friends, absolutely true. There's also a lot of hope and a lot of joy and a lot of liberation. This beautiful poem from this young woman about finding her voice in the world and not giving a damn what other people think, dear friends. That's freedom, absolutely, as well as strength and beauty, dear friends. To love and accept yourself is every human being's first priority. And then by extension, you can love and accept the other people in your life, dear friends. So often everyone, of course, has put the cart before the horse, as the saying goes, and doing it backwards. asking for everyone else to love and accept you so that you will love and accept you. It's a very slippery slope, dear friends, and it always unravels, because you are the source and the substance of every situation and circumstance in your experience. Therefore, when you know and stand in your truth, in your peace, in your courage, in your honesty, in your integrity, in your inspiration, in your humor, in your creativity, in all the gifts that Almighty God has given you, God, Goddess, all that is, you are magnetic and irresistible, dear friends, to those relationships and resources that you're seeking to celebrate and enjoy and embody in your daily living experience of life in this powerfully changing time. We are with you each and every step of the way, dear friends, your guides, guardians, teachers, and friends. It has always been true through the work of the autists and Kai Dickens and the telepathy tapes, channels mentioning here, and many other resources as well. That's one of the best, dear friends. You are being reminded that the paradigm is changing of beliefs, of reality, of consciousness, of creation, of spirituality, dear friends. Absolutely. That it isn't just a Father God and two masculine cohorts running the world, dear friends, if indeed it ever was. It is the Divine Mother, the Mother of Creation, Ann Tucker calls her here, God bless us, dear friends, and it is the women of this world finding their voices, as we've just shared here once again, the channel sharing this beautiful poem, Carissa, we think, dear friends, yeah, and you are, all of you, finding your voices, because the world needs to hear this message, dear friends, that love is Lord of us all, that love is the great master teacher and the great master manifester, dear friends. And when you surrender to love, you surrender to truth and freedom, to abundance and happiness and health and all the good things that life promises and this time offers with greater ease and grace, dear friends. So it is absolutely that as you let life love you, beginning with yourself, and you share that love with your brothers and sisters of this earth, so Mother Earth and the Mother of Creation and the Divine Mother in your heart will come together in a circle of celebration and exaltation, unlike anything you've ever imagined possible, dear friends. The conditions of the masculine will have been the focus of the human consciousness for millennium. You are at that moment now, as the channel has seen one way and another, where the Divine Feminine returns to her place of dignity and oneness and freedom. Dear friends, let life love you, let the Divine Mother bless you, and let your heart and your spirit soar. Be at peace. We'll meet again. Reach for your dreams with all your soul and might, and your dreams will manifest more elegantly and more easily than the world of struggle and proof could ever believe. It is yours, dear friends, to be the messengers of possibility and eternity. We love you so. Peace and blessings in the name of the Divine Mother, Father, God, dear friends. Celebrate your freedom and come home. Namaste. There it is. I'm very grateful. Thank you. It's always a blessing. Peace, peace, peace. Have a wonderful weekend. All my love.